Good morning, Bernice. Hey, Veronica.
Hello.
Hey. How you doing this gray morning?
Oh, I'm doing okay. I guess it'll pass eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, it's from what I understand, it's supposed to be a little bit rainy and cool this week. So
Yeah.
I think we're going to get a lot of this, for a little while.
Yeah.
Hey, it's December. We are well into it at this point. So,
Well, my stance is as long as it's not snowing,
yeah.
I could put a coat and a hat on and gloves. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yeah, I mean, I keep threatening, to inch my way to the equator eventually, to avoid ever being buried in snow again.
Right?
Yeah. After living in Kodiak, Alaska for a year, that was probably enough snow for my whole lifetime. So,
Yeah. I can imagine.
yeah, that was I'd had my fill. So I was like, okay. Yeah, this is
I
what
tell you,
like.
that's what I like about Georgia. That if it does get cold, I mean, you can count on the very next week it's going to warm up again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, weather here is, I mean, it's so mild, really, when you look at it in comparison to other places we could all be. So, it's like, okay, yeah, this is, yeah, I can't find any reason to complain about the weather here. It's always going to change, but it's also
I would like snow on Christmas Day though.
You would?
Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You just want enough, then it melts in a few hours, right?
Yes. I
Okay.
guess I need to take vacation to take advantage of that.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you right now that there's snow in West Virginia if you want to head that way.
Okay.
I was talking to my sister up there, and she, they have snow on the ground, so, and it is not going to go away. It will be there until like late March, early April. So,
Oh.
because that's what happens up there. So, anyhow, so it's good to see you all this morning. As I well.
So we got 6.
I keep, my photo thing keeps popping up for some reason, and I don't want it to. It's just connected to my phone. So anyway, Betty Biggs. Wait a minute. Where'd you go, Betty? What's happening? Betty sending me a message. Maybe she's having trouble getting on. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been rough this week.
Yeah. Okay. The only link I have is Freenaz, and it takes me to Outlook and not to Zoom, so I can't get in. Okay. Let me do something real quick here. Okay. because
Okay.
I want to send Betty an email.
I'll be back.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So let me open up a new window. New window. And on that window, we're going to go here.
Good morning, everybody.
How you doing, Armando?
I'm doing wonderful.
Yeah. I'm trying to send out an email real quick to
Okay.
to Betty Bates.
Hey, Bob.
Morning.
Hey, Armando, are you sick?
Hello, Veronica. No, I'm all right, darling. And I got my third shot,
Yeah.
so I'm done.
So we on the trifecta.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I did it in reverse. I got my booster, but now I have to go get my flu shot.
I got that one already.
Oh yeah. Time kind of escaped me, and I was like, oh man, let me go get this flu shot. But I wanted to get the booster because I didn't want to play any longer because my 6-month, time period was up.
I had it with no problem in Walmart.
Yeah, I went there too. But you mean for your flu or for your booster?
For my booster.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to make it a little bit easier because originally they were playing the Hunger Games with the flu, with the shots.
Yeah. When I got there, was nobody there. They asked me if I have an appointment. I said nope. So they took me, and
Yeah.
And this was at Walmart?
yes, Walmart has all of them.
Yeah.
Could be Moderna or Pfizer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, I just sent Betty the link. Yeah, okay. She got it. Okay, great. So hopefully we'll.
And also, I saw Sabrina in CBS, and she told me that very soon we're gonna be back. But she didn't say when. She just told me soon.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and I think I shared this with you guys already, but I had classes scheduled to go till the 23rd. And then I got a email from Sabrina, but it was forwarded on from the county. And the county is basically shutting down all Zoom classes as of, well, our last class will be the 17th. Okay.
I actually like that. I don't really want to go to class on the week before Christmas.
Okay.
no, before Christmas, no.
At any rate,
Yeah, I got a lot
yeah,
of stuff to do.
I have them. Yeah, I have them scheduled, but they're going to cut it off, starting the 20th for Fulton County employees. We are either going to be on site at Benton, in my case, and or we'll be, online, and we'll be going into what they call planning sessions. So they're trying to plan out what's going to happen in 2022. And I think classes will probably resume. I think it's like the second week of January is when they're going to start classes back again.
I love it. I love it.
But it will be kind of past the holidays. At any rate, whatever happens, you're going to get an email with new class links and things like that for the beginning of next year. Once all the dust settles and we know exactly what dates it's all going to begin and stuff like that. So that will probably come I'm guessing around the first of the year is when you'll get that, because it will probably take that amount of time, to get all the planning done, and then we'll know the dates, and exactly, how they're going to kind of proceed. I've had conversations with Sabrina about doing what they call hybrid classes. And what hybrid classes basically are is where we have people, who are online at home, but we also have people who are in the center at the same time as the class is going on, and they're in that studio space. But the thing you have to realize is that those spots are going to be very, very limited. Like, for example, in that large, art studio that we have at Benson, there's probably not going to be more than 5 or 6 people at the maximum. So it's going to be, very few people. And the only real advantage of being there is really if we're doing a studio class where, we're actually painting. And then, then you would actually have materials, on site. Now, I've also talked to Sabrina about the possibility of putting together what we call, these art packages or art kits that all of you would have access to. And we're trying to figure out how we're going to do that. We have to find containers and things that we could put paint in. And it would all be acrylic paint. I can't do watercolors and oil paint, pastels, and everything else. But it would probably all be in acrylic. And we would all work with sort of the same materials. But all of you would get the same basic package. And for people like Bernice, who didn't go to the Benson Center, what we would do is we would have a package sent down. Were you at Bowden or Mill?
Bowden. I was at Bowden.
Yeah. So we would basically send, some packages down to Bowden so that people who attend, my classes and things could pick up their package, at the center near them. They wouldn't have to come way up here to Sandy Springs to get it. And so that's kind of the discussions that we're having right now, is that how do we go forward in 2022? And again, nothing has been settled, okay? These are just things that we're talking about and trying to figure out, how we would actually do this. And if that actually happened, then, some of the classes would probably change, into actual studio classes where we would be working on a project, things like that, and it would be an interactive class. So, we're trying to push more in that direction. And, so that you guys can actually have a couple of hours a week, where you have some kind of supervised instruction. Any thoughts about that? Like, dislike, opinions? Any other ideas?
I think it's good, and because of what we're up against health-wise.
Mm-hmm.
So we could still work with you if we want to from home, but still have materials to do so, with a supply list, of course.
Right. Well, and if we're providing, kind of a minimal amount of supplies, to everybody, and everybody's got the same thing, then, we can all kind of work along together. And, when we're trying to solve sword problems, things like that, we're all dealing with the same palettes and stuff. So you should be able to get relatively similar results.
So the hybrid class, would it be like once a week or 3 times a week? And then we go, I don't know.
It would only be like a once a week, just like they were when you went into the center.
Okay.
Yeah. But we're trying to explore a lot of different avenues right now as to how we might deliver services and make services a little more like an actual class experience, being, actually in an art class, and being able to work with an instructor, right there. And so we're trying to get closer and closer to that is kind of the goal. And it's just a matter of figuring out the technology, but also, figuring out what the county's role would be in, like providing materials to make sure that everybody, had, things to work with, because it's hard to have a studio class if, John's working with watercolors and you're working with acrylics and somebody else is working with oils and things like that. I don't know that it's impossible to do. I'm just saying, it brings up more challenges, when you've got a situation like that. So we're looking for ways that we can create some continuity for everybody. And that may change the process too. It may not.
But at Bowdoin, in the actual classes, we had some people working with acrylic, some people who were doing art and oil, and some people doing watercolors. It was always a mixture.
Mhm.
We won't. Sometimes he would do a demonstration, but everybody wasn't necessarily working on oil on Monday, and I don't know, acrylics on Tuesday and watercolor on Thursday. No, everybody just worked on the painting that they started with,
Right. Okay. Yeah. It's just from an instruction standpoint. Okay. If I'm trying to give Armando advice on what he's doing on a painting, and it's kind of being broadcast out to everybody, and I'm telling him how to work with acrylics, that doesn't necessarily apply to somebody working in watercolors or somebody working in pastels or somebody working in oil. You can't use the same approaches and techniques for all of those different media. And that's kind of where it becomes a little bit muddled and kind of crazy. If you're walking around and you're physically in a room and you can talk to that person individually and give them advice as to what to do, then that works. And I've done things like that as well at Benson, but for the most part, if we can keep the materials kind of consistent, it puts everybody on the same page, right? And so that's kind of my thinking right now. But I'm open to different approaches and different ideas, and we're going to see where all of this works out. The good news, I think, in the big picture is that we are trying to take more steps, toward actually making this a more viable experience for people, within if they have to be within their own homes, that they can actually have an experience like they would, in a classroom. And that's what we're trying to move towards, because there are going to be, some of us who, regardless of what's happening in the world out there, with vaccines and everything else, are still going to be, vulnerable to, these different viruses and things out there. And so how do you stay safe? And the answer is, there are going to be a certain number of us who are going to be unwilling or unable to, go to, locations that have a lot of people there, and we're not going to be comfortable, being there. So,
I'm trying to figure out how to do a virtual swim class.
yeah. There's a lot of school systems are trying to figure that out right now. For kids, because that's really, it's a good process, and it's a good approach to education right now. But yeah, it's like, how do you pull that off, with the technology that we have right now? And we're kind of in the same boat. That's where we are. You know,
I think there's one center that does have a pool that people have been going to, but I don't feel safe with my mouth open in a pool, you know.
right. Well, Benson did for a little while, and then they shut that down. That only lasted for about 4 weeks, and then they like, no, we're not, no, we're not doing that anymore. And
Did they have a breakout or something?
well, I think they had some issues with the pool, you know,
Oh,
for one, but then also yeah, at the same, you know, they didn't have anything happen at the pool, but then I think one of the other centers had an outbreak. And again, you know, that was during the time when we were trying to push to get people back, you know, on site, even on a limited, you know, you know, limited basis. Um, and you know, I think the general feeling was, you know, we're just not ready. You know, we're just not ready to, you know, do that because, you know, the consequences are a little too dire, you know, to want to put people in that position. Yeah. So, you know, they made different choices, and so they shut it down. Anyway.
My grandson is in pre-med over at Augusta University, and he had to take a physics class last semester, and it was a virtual physics class. And he said it was the absolute worst experience. They send them out kits to their apartment or, you know, dorm rooms or homes or wherever the kids were living.
mhm.
And the instructor was totally not familiar with doing online type instruction.
Right.
And he said it was just an absolute mess as far as you know, trying to learn anything in this particular environment. So there are places, and as she indicated about STEM classes, which certainly physics is a STEM, you know, basic there. And it's the only reason he got through the class is because he had physics in high school, and he was able to, you know, relate the stuff that he had there into this particular class. But he said it was awful.
Yeah. Well, and you know, this is, you know, if you look back over the last 2 years now, okay, you know, we were all thrown into this situation, and you know, virtual learning was something that had been talked about a lot, but nobody had really actually done a lot as far as setting up a process to do that. You know, and so, you know, you had a lot of instructors like, you know, yours truly here. You know, at the beginning of this, I had no idea how this was going to work. You know, I'll be honest with you, I really didn't. You know, I didn't know anything about Zoom. I didn't know how the technology worked, you know. And even today, you know, if somebody asked me, you know, well, are you an expert on, you know, doing a Zoom class? I would say, no, I'm not. You know, I make it work, you know, to whatever degree I can. But I'm sure that there's things that I could probably do with this that I'm unaware of. Yeah. And so, you know, I think the world has got a big learning curve. You know, we've been thrown a new challenge, and it's like, how do we figure this out? You know, how do we keep moving forward? And you know, there's no other option. You know, you're gonna move forward one way or the other. So, you know, with time, you know, things will work out. You know, people will learn how to work, you know, within the constraints and, you know, confines that we've got with the technology that we have. And, you know, it should get better over time. I'm thinking, hoping.
You know, you're right in one regard. However, I left Southern Poly 7 years ago, and they had a very, very active hybrid class session. The fellow who kind of organized it and put it all together, he's now at the University of Michigan. But anyway, faculty did a lot of recordings, a lot of materials were sent out. The biggest headache in the whole thing was testing, because doing testing in a dorm room or a living facility, there's all kinds of temptations, so to speak, about so testing became a real issue, having to go to testing centers and then setting up a whole new environment for that kind of thing. But I mean, they had it pretty well. I was very impressed with how they were dealing with it. I mean, this was, I say, I left there 7 years ago, over 7 years ago at this point, and they were deep in it at that point in time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, when they basically approached us about this, no one at the county, there was no technical support for this at the county at the time, because it had never been done before, and so we were just kind of wading through trying to figure it out. That's kind of where we were. So, anyway, so everybody's got kind of the date and the time frame at this point. So again, classes, our last class will be on the 17th, and then from the 20th through about the 3rd, I'm not going on vacation. I will be here. And then, we're going to be doing class planning and trying to figure out, how we're going to move forward, both with virtual and what they're calling hybrid classes. And so as I find out more, you'll find out more. I'll share it with you, and we'll see what happens in 2022. It's hard to believe that 2021 is already gone, but it is. So
question.
Yeah.
Definitely, which one will be your last day this year with us?
17.
17. Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah, basically about 2 weeks from now, roughly. So, all right.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the last virtual class here. Okay. Okay. So guess what? I told you I was going to throw you guys a curveball, and I'm going to. And we need to get rocking and rolling. There's 2 videos. How many people are familiar with Josephine Baker?
With who?
Josephine Baker.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I am.
good.
Yeah.
Because I just saw something that was absolutely wonderful, and CBS News actually put it together, and it was a tribute to Josephine Baker. And if you don't know who she was an American singer, dancer, performer.
Oh, that Baker. Yes, I remember now.
Right. Yeah, Crazy Lake. Anyway, she, back in her day, she was quite the performer. She ended up expatriating from the U.S. and living in France. And so this is kind of a historical review. Just recently, she was awarded a place in what the French call the Pantheon, which is like for all of their national heroes. And she led a very, very interesting life. I think you'll be surprised. So we're going to watch this short thing. It's about 5 or 6 minutes, but I think it's kind of a good thing.
I remember at the end, she had all these children.
Oh,
and
well.
Then she ended tragically. They ended up taking the house. And
Let's watch what they have, and because
Well,
anyway.
from the people that I knew from that time, they told me when she finished acting, she used to leave the stage dragging a fur. It's a fur dragging her.
Oh, dragging a fur?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's possible. Possible. Okay, so let's see. Anyway. All right. We got to get through the ad first. Okay. So let's see if we can skip the ad.
Josephine Baker, yes, a legend, yeah.
At Craftsy, we understand that making art is a way of life. Whether you've never painted
France bestowed a rare honor on an American-born legend last week. Elizabeth Palmer tells us about the remarkable life of Josephine Baker. Deep in the French countryside sits a medieval castle, Chateau de Lyon, with a most unlikely history. Akil from Japan and his brother Brian from the North African country of Algeria have returned to visit the place they grew up with their siblings, 12 altogether, adopted from around the world.
The children were all adopted from down here to prove that human beings live together. I have different pigmentations and come from different continents. It has nothing to do with human beings.
They were known as the Rainbow Tribe, an experiment in racial equality devised by their legendary mother. One of the first Black entertainment megastars, Josephine Baker. A showgirl extraordinaire, she took Paris by storm in the Roaring Twenties.
At the Folies Bergère, the rage is Josephine Baker, daughter of a St. Louis washerwoman. Her loose-limbed abandon epitomizes Paris.
Josephine Baker grew up poor in the slums of St. Louis. As a young dancer, she made it as far as New York, and then beyond with an American vaudeville show to Paris in 1927. At the time, segregation and racism limited opportunities for Black performers in America. But in France, there was at least no legal segregation. Baker rocketed to fame across Europe with her exuberant style and a then scandalous dance wearing only a tiny skirt of women.
Josephine Baker, or any girl,
On stage, she was playing to a racial trope, but in life, she was impossible to stereotype. Professor and biographer Benetta Jules Rosette.
In addition to her performing, she is a businesswoman. She has a hair cream called Baker Fix. The picture is going on actual bananas because of her banana skirt. So not only then is she a musical star, a movie star, but she is an entrepreneur.
And, believe it or not, a spy, working with the French against the Nazis in World War II.
She could also fly a plane. So she was actually an Air Force pilot.
On Wednesday in Paris, Josephine Baker was awarded France's highest honor, the first Black woman to be inducted into the Pantheon Mausoleum more than 45 years after her death.
permit à Joséphine Baker de
French President Emmanuel Macron hailed her as a war entertainer, civil rights fighter, and of course, a mother. So it was like a fairy tale to live in a castle. Or was
Yes, it was like the holidays.
One of her sons, Brian Bouillon Baker, met us at the castle to give us a tour.
Her bouillon.
And there is Miss Colonial, Gary from Finland.
Finland.
I brought a coffee from Ivory Coast.
The Rainbow Tribe was more than a family for Baker. It was a living commitment to her ideals.
And showing to the world when kids and babies grow up together from all kinds of continents and countries and cultures and religions, they can live together.
What would you say your mother's legacy is?
So, ideal of universal brotherhood. That's very good.
Baker would eventually return to the US on tour, where she was among the first to insist on integrated audiences.
Many people credit Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack with desegregating Las Vegas, but Josephine was the first performer at the Flamingo Club requiring the club to be desegregated.
Don't you think to help your race, if you were to serve your race far better if you remained in the United States?
My race?
The Negro race.
But you see, I think a little differently. For me, there's only one race, the human race.
How long are you going to stay?
You want me to stay, don't you?
I like it. I think you can help the Negro.
Oh, don't say that.
Why not?
Because it's not a Negro movement. It's an American movement.
Her role in that movement earned her an invitation to join Martin Luther King Jr. to speak at the historic March on Washington. Josephine Baker died in Paris of a stroke in 1975.
Oh, 1972.
Crowds poured into the streets as she was buried with full military honors, a salute to her life and her legacy.
Where did she get that kind of self-possession and recognition of her own power?
I think it was innate, an innate poise,
Yeah.
innate self-confidence. Her legacy, I think, is one of courage in the face of adversity and all of the things that she was able to overcome in her lifetime.
And like all truly great performers, she made it look easy.
And there we have it. It's a little weird, it's a whole lot wild, but it's what they loved in La Belle France. Messieurs et mesdames, vive la Josephine Baker!
All right. What do you guys think of that?
Mm-hmm. I knew about her.
Huh?
I always admired her and admired what I knew about her, but I didn't know about her children.
Mhm.
That's amazing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she was as far as civil rights, things like that, she was a little bit ahead of her time. So yeah, certainly an amazing woman. You know, just the fact, you know, the military service and everything else was pretty incredible. So anyway, I thought I would share that with you. I got that actually from my brother who sent it to me the other day. And I was kind of surprised, but you know, he likes things like that. You know, performers.
And where was this featured? Where was this?
It was on a show. It's Sunday morning. CBS
Sunday morning.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a segment. You know, and it's a show that I've, you know, been a big fan of for years. It was kind of like that used to be like my one time in front of the TV during the week. Every Sunday morning I would watch that because it really, really is a good program. You know, these days, you know, I haven't watched it for a while, you know, mainly because we get cable, but we don't get CBS for some reason.
What's the name of the show?
CBS Sunday Morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's been around a long time.
A long time.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites also.
Yeah. I started watching it when Charles Corral was doing it. That was,
yeah, on the road with Charles Corral.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where it kind of spun up from. But yeah, it was a great program. It still is a great program. You know, it's you know, if you can get it, you know, on your cable or something like that, I would highly recommend you watch it because they always have, you know, really great stories. You know, good news stories as far as, you know, what's happening in the world, but also they always have segments on the arts and, you know, people kind of making a difference, you know, in the world. You know, and a lot of that stuff doesn't get publicized. So, you know,
I knew of her only as a performer. I had no idea she had such a full life. Some people seem to have two or three lives in one, and some of us don't seem to get that far.
Right.
She was, you know, I just knew of her as a performer, as a dancer, but that was very interesting. I think I'll check more on her.
Yeah.
I knew she helped. I knew she helped in the war. I knew she was a good spy in the war.
Mm-hmm.
And I always admired that she made her life better. Could have been where she started, you know. But I didn't know that the kids. That is amazing. It is 12 kids. Wow, 12
Right.
kids.
You need to see the whole story because in the end, I think she lost all the kids in the home and everything.
Yeah, I think, yeah, she went through some bad times toward the end of her life, I believe. But of course, you know, at that time, you know, even though she lost the chateau, a lot of those kids they weren't fully grown, but they were much older, you know, kind of young adults at that point in time.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. So it's not like
They had already been impacted
yeah,
by her
yeah,
life.
they've basically been brought together and given a family for the largest part of their life at that point. You know, and a lot.
But that's what you love about CBS Sunday Morning is that you get a little snippet, and as you want to learn more, you can. But you know, it doesn't bore you all day with the same story. You know, you see about 6 or 7 different stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, from what I've known about her family, you know, one of the things I think that's really positive is that even though she lost that chateau and things, the brothers and sisters have all stayed in contact with each other, and they view each other, you know, as family members. So, you know, it's something that really impacted their life, and a lot of them now are out productive adults. Actually, they're getting close to our age.
I bet a lot of them did the same thing that she did, tried to raise multiple cultural people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so, you know, I mean, I think the takeaway here is that any one of us can, you know, it's how we view ourselves and the choices that we make, and sort of the challenges that we kind of set for ourselves in life. And if we want to, you know, we can make a difference. You know, and it may only be a small difference, and it may not affect the whole world. But, you know, even if you affect a small group of people, you know, in your community or things, you know, everything that you can do to help other people get through life and make it an easier journey is a positive. So, you know, it's a win-win. So,
be a drum major.
Yeah, if you want to. Anyway, so now we're going to jump into the long video, okay? And this is about a performer by the name of Yo-Yo Ma, and who was doing, or I should say is doing, some really, really exceptional things. In many ways, that kind of parallel what Josephine Baker did, which was bringing people together from all these multicultural directions and trying to create not only music, but also just a general awareness of, you know, all the different cultures and people in the world, and how we interact with each other and how we view each other, and how through art, whether that's performing art, you know, or visual arts, you know, whatever art form it is, you know, people, regardless of their culture, can come together and find common ground. And, you know, we begin to see each other in a more human way. And so it's a wonderful story. Hopefully, hopefully we can play it all the way through. I did this once before and I got an error about halfway or about 2/3 of the way through the film. So we'll see what happens with this, but it's a great story and I think you guys will enjoy it. So hopefully you have some coffee, maybe you got a snack. There's great music in here and it's a great film to watch. So anyway, here we go. There we go.
Here we go.
And we got to get past the ad. It was doing a lot of this, a lot of buffering. Okay. see if we can get this. Try to reload it. Oh, come on. Heck. Okay, try again later. Really? Okay. I reloaded this again. Well, all right. Let me go back. Let's see if we can reset this up again. Sorry about that. All right. Well, it seems like it's not going to let me play it for you for some reason. I don't know why. Shoot. Can we start it in there? Okay. All right. Well, let's go back. If we can't watch this, then what I'll do is I will send you a link to it. Okay, let's try this one. This is probably just the in performance. It doesn't really, probably not going to give you the whole story.
Home is where the heart is. I know it's corny.
Yeah, that is corny. Keep going.
Welcome, everybody, to the Playing for Change YouTube channel today in this special partnership with Silk Road. Wow, what an amazing global audience. I'm so excited. Let me think about this for a second. Hola, bonjour, ni hao, ciao, konnichiwa, guten tag, annyeonghaseyo, privyet, assalamu alaikum, namaste. That's about all I've got right now, but I think you get the point. Hi, my name is Nicholas Kortz, and I have the honor of being the co-artistic director of Silk Road and your host for today's program. So, check it out. Playing for Change was created to inspire and connect the world through music. Silk Road was created to inspire and connect the world through music. Aha! So clearly a lot of shared vision between our organizations, which are both trying to break down barriers and make the world a more beautiful place. So specifically, what are we doing today? Well, first of all, it's a concert. We're going to whip around the world to visit the homes of some really extraordinary Silk Road artists. If you haven't done so already, please tell your friends right now. We're going to start in just 1 minute. More importantly, today is also a fundraiser. Playing for Change Foundation is doing amazing work to support different communities around the globe where they work to provide much needed food, medical care, and humanitarian support in this incredibly challenging time. Silk Road right now is raising funds for our artists and crew to do amazing work for the creation of new music, as well as other projects designed by our artists to serve communities in need. And I think everybody would agree that the world is really in need of some music and healing right now. So lots of work to be done, and we need your help to make it happen. So you're here, which is already a show of support, and it's great to have you. But we also hope that you consider making a donation today of any amount to help our two organizations. 100% of the proceeds that are raised today will go to support the work that I just described. There's a blue donate button right below. Check it out. I think it's super easy. Okay, so more about that later. Let's get this global music party started. I think I know the right way to do this. I have a friend I'd like to introduce you to, an aspiring cellist, Mr. Yo-Yo Ma. Seriously, Yo-Yo is a personal hero of mine, beautiful human being, and he also founded Silk Road 20 years ago. Yo-Yo, over to you.
You don't do Winky Dinky? You don't know what's Winky Dinky? You saw the mother of someone.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Yo-Yo Ma, and you are in my home in Cambridge, Massachusetts. It is a joy to be able to play for you this afternoon and to join my friends from the Silk Road Ensemble and friends from Playing for Change to celebrate all the great work that people are doing during this horrible, horrible time. This is a planetary moment, and so music from Mongolia, to Europe, to America, Africa, Australia, we want to bring the world together through music, and we hope this can give all of you a moment of respite from the hard work everybody is going through in order for us all to live and survive and thrive together. Thank you. And now, we have a special treat. My good friend, Wuman, will treat us to something very special.
Hello. Thank you, Yo-Yo. Welcome to my home, beautiful sunshine, Southern California. My name is Wuman, and I play the instrument. It's ancient Chinese instrument called piha, with a very long history, about 2,000 years, very long, and was introduced to China through the Silk Road trade from Central Asia. It's been very, very difficult for me, and I know for everyone last couple of months. But music keeps me strength, give me comfort, and made me smiling. So I think we can all together get through this difficult time very, very soon, I hope. Piece I want to share with you this afternoon is called Leaves Fly in Autumn, my own composition. The reason I'm choosing this is because I want to get out. I want to play with the leaves. I want to see the beautiful nature. And I want to play with this beautiful golden and red, all the beautiful leaves. In Chinese, it's called 杨花九月飞, leaves fly in autumn. Leaves flying everywhere. Thank you very, very much. Been great to play music. Beautiful afternoon. Please support Silk Road and support Playing for Change. I wish you all the best. Stay home, stay healthy, and see you soon. 谢谢。
Wow, Mom, that was really extraordinary. Thank you so much. The musicians of Silk Road are a special bunch. Really, not only are they incredible tradition bearers, but they're also very generous collaborators as well. And together form the Silk Road Ensemble. If you're interested to learn more, there was a documentary that came out recently called The Music of Strangers. And maybe you could add it to your quarantine queue if so inclined. So just a reminder, my name is Nicholas Koritz, and I am a co-artistic director of Silk Road and the host for today's collaboration between Playing for Change and Silk Road, two organizations that are trying to heal, uplift, and connect the world through the power of music. If you're able to support today, any amount is amazing. Your participation is what is important. Look for that blue donate button and just do what you can and help us to do. Further ado, over to you.
Thank you so much, Nick. Wow, amazing music from Woman and Yo-Yo. My name is Eric Jacobson. This is my brother, Colin Jacobson, Aoife O'Donovan, my wife. We are here in Brooklyn coming to you. We're so excited to be here. We feel so lucky to get to be together, quarantining together and play music as a family together. And we're so sad that we can't be there playing with Woman and playing with Yo-Yo. Happy to be playing for Change and for Silk Road. Thank you for having us.
Here's a song called Distress, an old hymn that was played with my band Crooked Still. So lovely, prayer smiling solace, so soon our transient comes fly, and pleasure only is the kind of to see the anguish of the whole spirit of praise and from the time that gentle patience till dying hope rebirths again. Who wipes the tears of Satan and was up towards the sun. So frail, smiling solace, so soon our transient comes fly, pleasure only. That was a beautiful song by Colin called Lydia's Reflection. Yeah, we're here in New York and New York City, city that never sleeps.
You might have heard the subway just go up.
Yeah.
It's still running most of the time.
We'll finish up here with this song, an old traditional song called The Lakes of Pontchartrain. Is that right? Don't burn much more. I've been these days. Took the road to Jackson Town, my fortune to new. I cased off throwing money, but I gave my heart longing for the lakes. I stepped on the road in the early sun. I buried swimming and I lay down again. All strangers here, no friends in me, till the dark dawn came. I fell in love with you on the lakes of Pontchartrain. I sent my money river, my money here to you. If it weren't for the alligators that sleep you welcome here, kind stranger. It's very plain would judge a stranger eyes and watch. She took me to her mommy's house. She treated me quite well. The hair upon her shoulders and jet black ringlets fell to try and play the blues that she made. So charming was my queen on the lakes of Pontchartrain. I asked her if she married me. She said that could never be. She got a lover, he was from the sea. She promised that she would everything she'd been. So he would turn to his creole on the lakes of well, my body blue, I'll never see you again. But I'll never forget your kindness in the clouds brown shore. And every social gathering, I fly myself, and I drink to the heart like you on the
so much. I'm Colin Jacobson. That was Aoife O'Donovan, and that was the Lakes of Pontchartrain. And here is Eric Jacobson. Thank you so much for being with us and for being part of the Silk Road family and Playing for Change. If you can, please donate to all these worthy causes, supporting so much. And back to you, Nick.
Beautiful, guys. Thank you so much. I could listen to that all day long. And thank you for letting us live vicariously through you in your living room. But, you know, it occurs, so let's sit back and enjoy, but I would also recommend that you fasten your seatbelt.
Hey, Nick, thank you so much for that sweet introduction. Colin, Eric, and Aoife, what lovely music. Namaskar, everyone. I'm Sandeep Das. I'm from India and I play the instrument tabla. I live in Boston for the last 7 years. And this music comes to you straight from my heart, my home in Boston, to wherever you are in the world. In the current times that we are facing, the word upaj keeps coming into my mind. Upaj means creation, but creating literally something out of nothing. So let me take you on a journey with me where I don't know where I'm headed. So here goes. Thank you very much for joining us here today. Now I welcome my friend, my brother Kojiro Yamazaki next. Nick, why don't you take over?
Was I right, Sandeep? That was truly mind-blowing. You never disappoint. Thank you so much. So, quick reminder that this.
Hi everyone, it's Kogo Mizaki here. I'm coming to you from very, very close to downtown LA. I hope everybody's well. I'm so glad to be part of this event. It's a fundraiser for Playing for Change and Silk Road. I want to share with you a piece that I've been sort of playing around with recently. It reflects what I'm doing right now in our safer at home condition here in California and downtown Los Angeles. It's a piece that uses some technology. So I've been totally geeking out. And the reason why I've been geeking out is it's just another way for me to sort of reconnect with all of my friends and my musicians around the world. This particular piece is based on some work that Silk Road has been doing with the students at the Lanier School on the Northern Cheyenne lands. It's sort of part of eastern Montana. And about a year ago, we went up there and we were working with them to create some music based around the shakuhachi, which is a Japanese traditional flute that I play. And I had the students working on some notation that is traditional notation that they drew in calligraphy. And after drawing some of the notation, we reconfigured it in the interest of creating melodic fragments. And so here's a melody that students from Lanier created, and I'm going to do a little bit of improvisation for you.
I hope you have fun.
Okay.
I've got to start with what we want to do.
Anyway,
We're going.
I'm going to Southern Bistro. I'm going to see if I can get a
Thanks very much. Hope everybody's staying safe. Many thanks, Co, for bringing in the students of Lame Deer into what you just did in such a beautiful and thoughtful way. I also want to say it's just beautiful to sit back here and watch all the comments and questions. I would like to send it over to the fabulous Christina Pato. Christina, where in the world are you right now?
Hola, soy Alicia from Inglaterra. I'm in Galicia, in the northwest corner of the city. Julio and I have been playing that we are about to play for a number of years. It is a very special piece with a movement from the quartet for the end of time by Olivia Bresson. We would like to dedicate this piece to all the people that have lost someone to COVID-19 and are struggling with this crisis. Our heart and our love goes to them. I'm playing for change today. And to close this concert, we would like to share a video that was created by Playing for Change, along with Silver and our friends from the Kennedy Center Swing Around Arts Forum. The video kind of illustrates the power of the arts in society and inspires us to keep creating music and doing it so. So again, Gracias, de corazón, thank you very much for joining Silver.
Sometimes I'm right, now I can be wrong. My own beliefs are in my song. Which are the bacon from a makes no difference what you found me. Sometimes I'm right, I can be wrong. My own beliefs are in my song. The butcher, the banker, the drummer, and day makes no difference what group I'm in. 'Cause I and everyday people. There is a new one that can set the dream for living with the bad one, trying to be a spinning different strokes for different folks, and so on and so on. It's doobie 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 doo. Sha sha, we got to live together. I am no bad, and neither are you. We are the same, whatever we do. You love me, you hate me, you know me and me. We still can't figure out the thing I feel. And everyday people.
Thank you sincerely for tuning in this afternoon. We hope you've enjoyed this program as much as we've enjoyed creating it. We appreciate your generosity and support, and we invite you to also join Silk Road and Playing for Change. Join our social media channels, follow along, follow the work as it's happening. There's a lot.
Okay, I think that's pretty much all the music. Got a lot of advertising in there. What do you guys think of that? Those of you who hung around, we lost like 4 people. Anybody have any thoughts? Armando, you're muted.
When we gonna have our cyber Christmas party?
You're on the wrong subject.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
You were asked about the videos.
Right. Yeah.
Tell you what, I like watching Yo-Yo Mom's face.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Passionate, I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Okay. So anybody got any thoughts about, what we watched, even though it wasn't what I had intended? You kind of got the flavor of it.
Right.
I mean, these people have been doing.
Then you end it with, I am everyday people. I was singing along with everyday people.
Okay. Yeah, everybody can kind of get into that one. The video that I had wanted you guys to see really showed a lot of the background stories between, a lot of these artists and, the things that they went through, in the world with all the turmoil, change and stuff, and how they sort of ended up working together on these projects in Silk Road. And it's a pretty amazing project. It's been going on for over 20 years. And, they're very active. Even during COVID, as you can see, they were still, maybe doing home concerts and things for people. That was one of the things that you could kind of link into over, different networks. And, really beautiful stuff. People are still making art out there. Keep talking about that. We're busy. So, and, hopefully you guys are busy making some art too. Anyway, anybody else?
No.
Other than wanting to talk about a cyber Christmas party? Jenny? You're muted.
Lie down, nobody has
Yeah.
to do nothing for nobody.
Yeah, okay. Here, Jenny,
Yes.
what are your thoughts about all of this stuff?
I'm very pleasant.
Okay.
Very pleasant.
It was a good way to start the day, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully, you can take some of that music and stuff and it'll carry you through the rest of your day. I've got kind of a challenge for you guys. Okay. Thinking about music, right? Music is not necessarily a visual art, but a lot of visual artists use music as a conduit to create art. And I would challenge any of you to create a piece of art based off of your favorite piece of music. Any thoughts about that? Are you all dumbfounded?
No, I think we went into creative mode. Like, okay, so I have a lot of favorite music, so let's narrow it down a bit.
Right, yeah. Which piece would you pick? Right, yeah. But seriously, I mean, think about that. How would you visually express something that you relate to, audibly, so closely, like a favorite piece of music, whatever that is?
Is everybody familiar with India Reid? I Am Light. I Am Light. It's kind of my mantra. I am light.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've already did a little piece of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard of her, and I've heard some of her music. I don't know that I've heard that.
Yeah, but like I said, I love the I Am Light one. I might do something based on that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and again, it could be any piece of music. It could be any genre, whether it's jazz or rock or country western or whatever, whatever style of music you like to listen to. I would kind of give you a challenge of trying to figure out how you would express that piece. And again, you can use any media, any approach. It's however.
Bob done that.
Pardon?
I said Bob already did that.
Yeah,
Bob already did that?
I did it on I Am Light. But I also like I don't know who wrote it, but who sang it, but I like The Pretender. What is his name? Something Jason Brown, maybe. Maybe I like different music than most people.
Yeah, we all probably listen to very different music. That's fine. I have pretty wide. I think I know the piece you're talking about. I don't know the title. I'm not sure.
Yeah, where he talks about, The Pretender.
Yeah, it was. It came out of like the 70s, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I know the piece you're talking about.
But the veterans dream of the fight, fast asleep at the traffic light.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at that.
Yeah.
I may actually have it in my music collection somewhere.
I think his name is Jason Brown. I'm almost certain of that Brown, but Can't remember the first name, but anyway, I love it. You would think I would know the name. Wouldn't you?
Well, not necessarily. You know, I mean, sometimes tunes will stick in our head, and we'll have no idea who the artist is, but we still love the piece of music. So.
When I Google, The Pretender, Jackson Browne.
Jackson Browne, yeah, that's him. That's him.
And I think the Foo Fighters or something did The Pretender, because that's coming up.
Like a cover of it.
Oh, that's like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Jackson Browne. Let me turn on that YouTube real quick and see if that's it, because I remember.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Because as soon as you said the name, oh yeah, Jackson. He named that tune in one note.
That was a show, wasn't it?
There was a show for Pretenders too, I guess.
Yeah. Well, there was a whole band, by the name of the Pretenders, who were from Motown as well.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't seem like it.
I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, and I do have if it's Jackson Browne. So yeah. But,
Jenny, when you have a moment, look up India Reid. I Am Light.
Okay.
I Am Light.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. So again, it could be any piece of music. It's your choice. And it's not an assignment. Okay, I'm just giving you some inspiration. To try to, get you guys to do a little work. Make a little art.
Any music, classical or popular or
anything, whatever your favorite piece of music is. Okay, or if it may not be your favorite, but maybe there's a piece of music that stirs up some kind of imagery or something in your mind that you want to try to put down visually. So.
But two of my Christmas cards that I'm making are Santa Clauses. So I've already done it. Jingle bells.
You could.
We all know that.
That counts.
Well, I don't know. That kind of sounds more like repurposing, but but no, that's fine.
Bob did his turntable piece. That was music.
Well, he did. He did.
I did. I did a turntable and airbrush a while back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in Christmas, I like when Grandma got run by a reindeer or something like that.
That's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can't remember who.
Well, on that note, I like Eartha Kitt. Was it Santa Come Down the Chimney to Me? What is that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's, what's the name of that song?
Oh, I think Jenny is playing the India I Read.
I Am Light, India Airy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that the one?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, that'll be each, really up to each and every one of you to kind of pick your own music if you want to do that. And like I said, it's not an assignment. You don't have to do it, but think along the lines of if you wanted to spend some time painting, things like that, you might kind of pair that with some music, that you wanted to listen to, and then try to, get some of the emotion or things that you're feeling, from listening to that music into the artwork that you're, making. So just an idea, another way to get you there, right? Got to get you in front of the easel first. Got to get a brush in your hand or a pencil, and then see what comes out. Okay.
All right.
Anybody got any thoughts about that?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, on that happy note, we're going to wrap this up because I need to head to Benson. Okay.
Oh.
and I'm going to be sorting artwork, and you guys should be getting if I've got a piece of your artwork, at the center, I should be sending you an image of that to confirm it, and then I'll set up an appointment for you guys to come by within probably the next week or so that you can get your artwork back. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. And Veronica, I already have the pieces you sent me images of. And,
Yes.
and the bird, I know where it is. It's in the case. The painting, I'm still.
Okay.
And I came across a couple of paintings from that session, and maybe you've done more work on it from the stage when you photographed it. I don't know. But yeah, there are some things that are similar to that. But I'll photograph them and send them to you. And you can
Okay.
see they're
Now, did they want the bird to stay in the case? I mean, I'm not adverse to that.
Yeah.
Or they just cleaning out everything?
No, I'm trying to get everything back to everybody,
Okay.
at this point. And because nobody really knows where anything's going to head from here. And so,
Okay.
I want to make sure you guys have your artwork back. And
Okay.
you have another piece that's actually on the shelf in the film room that,
Okay.
yeah, that needs, well, I think you put underglaze on it and it's been fired. And I think it needs,
Okay.
a final glaze on it, but I'll photograph it and I'll send it to you. And if I'm going to be spending time there, I'll put a coat of final glaze on it for you and then fire it and get it back. Okay. It's
Okay,
that kind
that's
of like
great.
candy dish. It's like the 3 or 4 pieces that fit together.
Oh, okay.
Doing that before in the sculpture class.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it never quite got finished. But yeah, we'll talk more about that.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else got anything before we go away? And no.
Well, I have some donations for the center. Do I need to make an appointment to drop them off, or can I just drop them off next week?
Yeah, I think you need to make it a point.
Okay.
And can I ask what kind of donations there are? Are they like books and things like that, or?
Yeah, it's books. It's yarn. It's the crafty group.
Oh, craft. Okay. All right. Yeah, probably. Either getting a hold of Sharita Bennett.
Okay, I'll send her a note.
Yeah, and or Sabrina. One of the two.
Okay.
And ask them, how they want to go about that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. On that happy note, I hope everybody has a good rest of the day. I hope you enjoyed the
Bye. You too.
Bye.
Bye.
And we'll see you tomorrow around about 2. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Bye, Jenny.